EFCC versus Tompolo. Yes, no, I want to react to the news making rounds between the Economic Financial Crime Commissions and then Tompolo himself. Of course, it was started when a doctor, forgotten that his name again, called the attention of the EFCC on a trending video of Tompolo dancing, and then a certain young man was spraying money on the floor while he was dancing. You know, for those of us that doesn't know who Tompolo used to be one of the generals or one of the people or leaders of the Niger Delta militants back in the days when there was this militancy in the Niger Delta, and of course during the regime of President Goodluck Jonathan, they granted them amnesty, and since then there has been this peace and quietness in the Niger Delta. And then since then also, some of these Niger Delta militants, then now repentant, were now commissioned to safeguard the waterways and the oil blocks and oil pipelines in the Niger Delta. So that kept them busy and made them like feel like, okay, this is our property. We have to make sure that they are safe, they are secure. Do you understand? But then we know that currently for the past since last year or so, the EFCC has been arresting some certain personalities, young people and influential people, celebrities and all that for Naira mutilation and all that. But in this case of Tompolo and the EFCC, some people are saying that how can they arrest Tompolo? Even to Deadno was like that he would like to see the end of this story and see where it ends. As some people say, I want to see this war movie or war film where it will end and where it will lead to. And then EFCC has come out to make some comments so that nobody's above the law, that Tompolo certainly we have questions to answer. And I agree with EFCC. Nobody's above the law in this country. In fact, in a country like this, one person cannot be above everybody. Cannot succumb under anybody. But I also believe that some people are equal to the law. And I will give my reasons for saying this. In as much as everything is happening, some people are playing vital roles to ensure that there is peace and security in Nigeria as a country. And such people, or some of those people are Asai Dokubo, Tompolo, or some of you might not know again. There's another person called Ateketon, and some other people that you people may not know about. But I happen to know this because I grew up in the Niger Delta. I grew up in Port Harcourt, River State. Do you understand? But especially people like Asari Dokubo, Tompolo, they are like the order, like they are like law and order in these places, in these states, in this region, in Nigeria. Do you understand? If you fight them, things will go bad. They have people who are, in fact, who has pledged their life to them. That is one. They have, let me borrow this word, an army of, or a militia, or people who can do every and anything for them. Do you understand? I remember some time ago during the President Buhari's tenure when Tompolo was declared wanted, and he said they should come to the creek that is not running. Until today, that case died natural death. Do you understand? So yeah, Tompolo or nobody is above the law, but I certainly think or believe that some people are even equal to the law, because in this case, Tompolo is like the law. If you take him out, let's assume that Tompolo dies today, like nothing happens to him, like not like in Nigerian federal ministry killed him or something. Let him just die natural death. There will be destabilization for a very long time in the Niger Delta, like serious destabilization, because there'll be power tussle for who will replace him, and there'll be destabilization of peace and order in the Niger Delta because he's there as one of the commanders maintaining peace and order. Don't forget that at some point during that tug of war between him and the federal government, they had to negotiate with him and give him what they call it again, contracts. You understand? I think he owns this. Is it Tantita? If I'm not mistaken, I think he's the owner of Tantita security services that safeguards waterways and all that. So he has trained boys, and that is one. Two, comparing him with other people, because me, I feel like this, even this EFCC issue, money mutilation law is even like is witch hunting, because they keep going after influential people, they keep going after celebrities and all that. Because let us even analyze that video. In that video, I did not see Tompolo spraying money. I only saw him dancing. Do you get? In that very video that Tompolo posted, sorry, in that video, the trending video, unless there are other videos, but the one I saw with my very own eyes, he wasn't the one spraying money. He was just dancing. Maybe you are calling him out, or I think it was his birthday we are celebrating, or a ceremony, because of course, I forgot to mention that um Tompolo is not just an ordinary person. He is also a chief priest to a deity. Let us get the perspective. He is a chief priest to a deity in the Niger Delta. If you know Tompolo very well, you know that. So I think they're having a ceremony or something, but he was dancing out. And so maybe somebody that loves him, or one of his boys, or a well-wisher came out to celebrate him, like to spray money while he was dancing out. So it's not like he was the person that was even spraying the money. So why are they not talking or looking for the person that was spraying the money? Because Tompolo was just dancing. And we know I don't know about some other people in the region where I come from, where I grew up, spraying money it has been a very long tradition. If you see somebody that dances very well and the person dance and the dance pleases you, you spray them money. It has been like a normal thing. You understand? So why EFCC is trying to make this arrest and everything? I feel they should be like a national orientation to reorientate people that, oh, this thing that seems to be a normal is now a crime. Do you get? Because Tompolo wasn't even spraying the money himself. He was the one dancing out. Do you understand? So why don't you go after the person that was spraying the money? That is, if it was that particular video that I saw online that is making the EFCC to call him, that said that he has questions to answer. Do you understand? And it's another thing to call somebody for answers, another thing to persecute him. You cannot prosecute. Hey, God, I beg. Hey, Tompolo is not a small fish to fry. Because if former Kogi State Governor, what was that his name again? If the PSC could not successfully prosecute the former Kogi State Governor, the name I've forgotten the name now. I'm not sure. In fact, Tompolo will be a bigger fish for them to fry. Yes, Tompolo is going to be a bigger fish for them to fry. Because the former Kogi State Governor, why am I forgetting this man's name? Oh God. The former Kogi State Governor, what's that his name again? It's coming and going. Yahaya Bello, if I'm not mistaken. Allegedly stole how many billion? And the EFC could not, in fact, the EFC chairman swore that if he doesn't get him prosecuted, that he will resign. And up to date, we've not gotten any much feedback from that case. And then you're not talking about somebody like Tompolo. It's not like he stays on the land. No, he doesn't stay on dry land. Yahaya Bello stays on dry land. So EFC can take as much vehicles as they can to surround his. In fact, use more tankers to surround his compound and then get him arrested and all that. Even with that, they couldn't. Now talk more of Tompolo. Hey, that's these everything is on the water. It's not like where he stays on the water is close to the water. It's like deep inside the water in the creek. In the creek. Do you understand? So how we get? Let me say they send like 100 soldiers or naval officers. They will use boats to go, Abi. I think it's about 5 to how many hours drive to where he stays in the creek. Do you get? So how possible would this mission be? Do you understand? I don't think it's only possible because he has men. And Nigeria military is even stretched at this point. We have so many issues that we are facing at this point that we cannot even go and start under, like some people are calling it online, world war or another, unrest, even unrest or something, whatever they call it, or they want to call it. I think they should just let him be. It's not like he's above the law, but they should just see Nigeria have other serious issues that we can look into. Not Tompolo and EFCC matter or EFCC going after Tompolo, but I believe that he's a very well-meaning Nigeria and he's a law-abiding citizen. He may just wake up one morning and decide to honor the invitation. Do you understand? But I don't think that EFCC can just go and lock him up or bundle him the way they bundle others. It's not going to be possible. In fact, they can't even see him. EFCC cannot see him anywhere, anyhow. It's not somebody that can just block anywhere and then arrest him and maltreat and handle him. No. If he's coming on his own accord. Because I know that of course, he's very gentle and is a law-abiding citizen. He might just decide to come to honor the EFCC if they invite him cordially. But if it's by brute force, my brother, see, you will just lose personnel for nothing, like for nothing. Do you get? So if yes want to go after him, yes, they should go about it in a lawful manner. And I also believe that Chief Tompolo, federal government, they call him federal government over there, is a law-abiding citizen. He will likely honor their invitation and come. Do you get? But if you say it's by brute force, just like the way the barbaric manner that the yes have been bundling people, rough handling people, just like they do very dark man, my brother, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all, at all. So I pray that God will give them wisdom to handle this issue, because if they go about it the wrong way, it will lead to loss of life and properties. It will lead to civil unrest, because his boys too will want to protect their boss. You understand? Because it's not that puts food on their table. Like I said earlier, the federal government is in contract with federal government to protect the pipelines and oil wells in the Niger Delta. So he has boys who are loyal to him and who are armed. Please take note. His boys are heavily armed. Armed. So they should tread with caution, because if they want to go into it with brute force, it's going to be brutal. And at the end, lives to be lost, but nothing will happen to him. Nothing will happen to him. He's not above the law in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not insinuating that he's above the law. But with the little I know about him and his organization and everything, it's not a small fish to fry. So I've just advised the federal government or the EFCC to follow him cordially, invite him. I think he will honor the invitation. But don't go about trying to arrest him, because even on the video that I watched, though, he wasn't the one spraying the money. He was only dancing out, and I feel it should be somewhat awkward for him to pause and say, stop spraying the money. No, it would be somewhat awkward because he was already dancing out. And I said earlier that before now, we use spraying of money as a sign of appreciation to somebody that did something that pleases us, that makes us happy, or want to appreciate somebody for doing something extraordinary, or for dancing well, or for a job well done. We spray them money. Is in our way of, is our, say that culture is people's way of life. I think it's our culture. Let me use that word. It's our culture. So if the EFCC is frowning at this and is against the constitution, please, they should maybe contact some influencers or do some orientation, create awareness so that everybody will be aware of this, and then things will quietly stop. But if you want to use brute force every time, brute force to arrest people, to prosecute them and everything, it will not work. Especially with this Tompolo issue, it will not work. I don't see it working. And I do not mean that he's above the law. No. Chief Tompolo is not above the law. But if the EFCC wants to get justice or want to actually succeed in prosecuting him, they should please do away with brute force like they've always done. I use the word please because it's innocent lives that will be lost. Yes, it's innocent. There's no way that the EFCC chairman will go on operation with his men to go and arrest or force Chief Tompolo to answer to them. No, never. He will also send his men, and there's no way Chief Tompolo himself will come out and allow himself to be manhandled by the men of the EFCC. It's not going to be possible. Do you understand? So I feel like wisdom at this point, in the part of the EFCC, not even in part of the Chief Tompolo, part of the EFCC, I feel and I believe that wisdom is certainly profitable to direct. Do you get? If they want to get to it, they shouldn't use brute force, please. It's very, very dangerous to go about it with brute force. They should cordially send him invites. If he honors them, they should just query him or just tell him never to do it again. Or start giving precautionary measures to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But say they want to arrest him and prosecute him, my brother, it's not going to be possible, bro. It's going to be an effort in futility. And I repeat again, it's not like he's above the law. No. But some certain people in the society, because of their status, because of who they are and what they have achieved and what they represent and who they represent and what they have done for the states, especially Nigerian states, should treat them with respect. Should treat them, accord them respect because they matter, because they have value in the society. Do you understand? The rest we are experiencing in the Niger Delta so far, some credit should be given to Chief Tompolo and other people. Like I said, Chief Ateketon, Chief Asai Dokubo, Tompolo, and other people too. There are some other people that are not that popular that we don't hear about, but they have been on ground to ensure that there is stability in the Niger Delta. You get? So that's my take on it. Please, brute force should not be used because it's certainly going to be an effort in futility. Yes, it's only amounts to loss of innocent lives, and nobody deserves to die. It's only for free that has lost value. That was just slip of tongue, but then it is what it is. Do you understand? So please, I want to advise the EFCC to please see danger and apply caution. Peace out.